Good evening. Video here. Caught red-handed. We predicted this a few sessions back with these Wikipedia articles and the Democrats with the media that Trump was talking about. We caught them red-handed here. So no defense here really from the Democrats. You have on the Mark Wahlberg's Wikipedia page, you specifying race with these incidents that he had, mostly as a minor, but there were some incidents there apparently. And we're specifying race there, which questionable there if that should be included. Usually, when you talk to an attorney, usually when you have an incident, misdemeanor, or felony, and race is a factor, whether you murder a white person or an African American, and it is murder. So um, it's debatable there if you include race, but at the minimum, if you do that, you need to be consistent. That um, if we can't agree on that, then watch your back, Jack. So that's where we're at. So we'll deal with that second part here on Mark Wahlberg and Phillip Adams' Wikipedia pages. I just visited Phillip Adams' page just tonight, just to make sure to double check these things. So on Mark Wahlberg's page, like we said, we have race specified as a factor. Questionable kind of there, but if you have that, you need to include that on these other pages. O.J. Simpson, Henry Ruggs, I believe the victim there. I can't remember exactly whether she was Caucasian or not, but O.J. Simpson killed 2 white people. Phillip Adams killed, I believe, several white people, 5 or 6, I believe. And if you don't have race specified on those pages, it's very clear, or it's obviously clear that whoever's editing these articles is only consistently applying them. Well, the message out of the Democrats is that people are doing racist things. Well, if you selectively call out somebody for that, and I mean by that, if you call out a white person for shooting an African American, but you don't call out an African American for shooting a white person, you yourself are racist. You're doing what you're advocating against. And I agree that racism is wrong, but if you're a Democrat or anybody who is doing that approach, you yourself are racist. And you're not going to change anything. As you can see, African Americans still lag, and Hispanics are even further behind, and they don't even get mentioned. Obviously wrong there, whether you're Republican or Democrat. If you do that, you need to consistently call people out on that stuff. And you see that with the news media not doing that. They're guilty too. So it's fine if you do that, but you got to call it both ways. Like a referee, if they're going to call Stephen Curry for slapping the hands of Marcus Smart, they need to call it the other way too. Otherwise, it's not a fair competition, and the result, it doesn't matter. And that's what you have here. And the Democrats have been caught red-handed on this issue. And I believe the Republicans have done a very poor job of calling them out on this, much to their downfall as well. But Democrats they're caught red-handed on this issue, and this is why on the racial issues the Democrats are out to lunch on this stuff. You have to call it both ways. You just can't call this poor African American or this poor African American here and not mention any other crime. That's a god awful strategy. You're not helping yourself. You're not helping anyone. You're not changing the results. The pecking order, Asians, whites, African Americans, and Hispanics cannot be changed by doing that, or they're the opposite. So it just makes you look terribly bad and makes you uncompetitive on the other political subjects. So addressing that issue, Wahlberg and Phillip Adams. Wahlberg, some of those instances were as a minor, some were not. I haven't fully researched it to comment any further on that. Possibly, there's something major there, possibly not. I'd have to research that first, but if you're going to specify, I'm just using him as an example. If you're going to specify race on his page, you have to do that on O.J. Simpson, Phillip Adams, Jussie Smollett, Henry Ruggs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So who's ever editing these pages is going to have absolutely no impact politically. The only thing you can do politically is to change your vote. And the money perspective always lags. There are people out there who view the money angle on politics. Those people brains are smaller than those of a dog. And so whoever's behind this could be a foreign country, could be anybody. They're not winning. They're just better off just shooting themselves in the foot. So that's basically where they're at. And if you're wondering why I'm commenting, if it doesn't matter, I just have nothing else to do. So there you go with that. Let's just look at my notes. Democrats are caught red-handed on this. If you want to get in somebody's face politically, you can go ahead and do that. Very bad strategy. You're going to lose with that battle. It's not really about Trump. It's about millions of voters standing behind him, which you're going to do absolutely nothing about. Like we said, the only thing you can do politically is to change your vote. And there you have it. So caught red-handed with Wikipedia. I think it's only a matter of time before I visit another site. I don't visit ESPN anymore. I don't watch most of the sporting events anymore. I don't read some of the newspapers anymore. Don't watch the television news anymore. So just a very bad strategy. Plus, you're cheating too. Not only are you losing customers, it's an economic fact, regardless of the ratings, because you have to compare that to what it could have been. So caught red-handed, cheating, and anybody who cheats, even if you come in first place, like at the Olympics, loses. So just a poor strategy. You have the right to do that, but you lose.